I guess Victor is taking us to the next level. His whole office appears to be covered in little pinups of all these different supercars, and I walk in and his hands are going everywhere, you know? I want some of this, I want some of that, going on and on. He's definitely a passionate man.
I'm looking at all the literature, the internet, anything that had to do with supercar, and I'm taking pictures and pinning them up in my office. Ian can't draw, I can't draw. I'm good at drawing stick men, you know, that's where my limitation is. But my nephew Vinny, he's a graphic designer, and he could take our thoughts and put it on the paper so we have somewhere to start. So I want it to kind of look like this, this, and this.
I just can't wrap my mind around how we're gonna take a Sterling and a Porsche to make you a supercar. So I just need to know, what exactly off a supercar did you want?
I just need you to transfer my thoughts or whatever I tell you into paper. I'm gonna take a piece of this car, a piece of that car, the headlight of this car, the tail end.
I've been through this before. You know, Victor likes to come into the shop, throw out a bunch of ideas, and just leave, you know, and I come up with something.
I got the ideas, I just can't put it in writing.
He works well with his nephew also, just a totally different style in this part of the project. He's all about the ideas, you know, he's the guy who says, I want this, and then he changes it 500 times.
We're looking at this. I like the front end, the vents here, but then I like the way this flows in the front.
Vince is trying to respond to that, and I'm just kind of watching the show.
I don't know, there's another little element I thought could go in there. Let me see. I just see something, okay, just to here. I know how to color too. If you really look at them all, they all have one thing in common. They're like sleek, low, and mean looking.
Yeah.
The sketch is not the car we're gonna build, but it has the silhouette, you could say, of a start of a car. So Ian says, hey, let's just design it as we go. And he's right. We're gonna do what we do. We're gonna design this car as we go.
We've already cut apart 2 cars just to get to this discussion. I think enough chit-chat about this whole project. It's time to get busy. We decided we're gonna build this whole car around the roof. I gotta get this thing into position and then decide what we're gonna do. The dictating factor is gonna be how low I can get this in the dashboard section. If we gotta raise the back up a little bit, so be it. But you can see the back's real low. If I can get the front even closer, then we're where we wanna be. The whole thing is trial and error. So fit up the roof, see where it's hitting, cut that back again, back and forth. We've run out of Porsche to cut. We've got to go forward. That's it. Just gonna roll that edge down. That way it stays real strong in there. If Dr. Porsche could see me now, I'd be his #1 son. Better every time, baby. So with this envisioning tool, you'll see all that framework was messing up the vibe. Aha. Supercar, baby. That's what this was missing. Now all of a sudden the roof is way down. This is by no means what we're building. It's just another representation for discussion. This is the same effort that we did the other day with Vince in the illustration room. This is my kind of discussion on styling and what's possible because we have all the real world parameters in front of us. So there's a lot going on here and I'm really digging it. I think my favorite part is the rear portion, most specifically the height in here. I know we're gonna have a big hollow in there, and really at this point, the whole rear end is just pure potential. Got your hips coming in, trough to see the engine, whatever back window there's gonna be. But looking at it here, you see the roof? You know, it's got kind of that pyramid shape where it's coming up into the roof height. Doesn't look too flat, doesn't look too tall. These are just representations of proportions, parameters, surface heights. The look of everything's gonna get changed.
Hey, Ian, how you doing, man?
Hey man, we got a sports car, check it out.
Wow, my top, man, you got it down.
I got it to fit. Check out how it works with the dashboard, man. Like
wow.
It belongs there.
I mean, factory fit.
See, if you look inside, all your points for your hinges, they all go right inside that vent.
Oh man,
so you're
so
set.
The mechanism will work the same.
We'll just upgrade it
You
so
don't
it
even
doesn't
have
shake.
to engineer it.
Yeah, exactly. The look of everything's gonna get changed. It's not gonna be this car. These are just good examples of what we can work with.
How did you get this thing so low? That's what my question is.
Sort of like the windshield on the Porsche. I had to get a little caveman on it, and I just cut your springs out.
I told Ian, hey, I'm gonna change the suspension. You know me, everything I got, low profile. I didn't expect this guy to come in and just cut everything off.
But just like with the other lowered cars we did, we'll build it down low, get those tire and fender lines connecting, and then when it raises up, they'll look right.
This always happens. He just starts tearing stuff apart, man. I mean, this guy's out of control sometimes. But it looks darn good.
Just staring at this thing as a chassis, and a roof looked weird. Now we have some bulk surrounding it, and we can build whatever shapes we like. We'll just use these as tools, templates to work off of.
Well, I got a surprise for you.
Yeah, probably another car, right?
No more car, 2 car per build. That's my limit. Hang on, I'll be right back. Check this out.
Holy moly.
I took them from my kid's project.
All right, he's all about the big diameter rims.
Yeah, they're on my kid's car in the other shop, so don't scratch him. He don't know I took them off. He just got these things.
Yeah, he's always going to the Dub show. They're 24-inch rims.
Yeah, 24 by 12.
And look at the freaking low-profile tires, man. That's wild. I mean, this is what a sports car would have. Super flat track with wide, big diameter rims. This is what keeps our arrangement spicy. Victor comes in with the crazy stuff. We try it out. If it works, it sticks. If not, we get rid of it.
It's almost like putting a suit on a car. It just brings out the spark. It's a little bit too blingy maybe for this car, but it gives it the stance. Look at it's wide. Wow.
Just makes it look more aggressive, big and little tires. Just give it that nose down stance.
Clearance is perfect. We take this radius all the way to this point to the ground. Remember, we're gonna be on the ground.
Yeah, I get you.
Now with some type of air suspension.
Good call on the big diameter rims, man. I wasn't know what to expect when you walked in the door, but they work. In the end, who knows? Probably change the wheels out. The tire size and diameter looks great. The rim is simply a style choice. Those stock Porsche set is not gonna happen. That's the difference between soccer mom and superhero right there. You're all about it. Victor and I are committing to the size and diameter of the wheels and tires. I'm not 100% sure about the styling. One thing I know is they're expensive. I'm gonna cover them up and work around it. Victor loved the placement of the roof, how it came down to the dashboard, so this flange goes with it. It's what the weather strip attaches to. It's probably gonna stay in the car, even though we're gonna modify it through the door jamb area. We're trying to build this car around the roof, so it's all about connecting it to the Porsche so we can work around it. My goal is to just get this thing fastened in place, functioning manually. Ed Ross said it, big mess, big success, so it's gotta get really bad before it gets any better. I'm gonna do 4 risers, just because there's 4 bolts. These are probably gonna come out, but this will represent the rear wall of the cab ultimately. So that back is pretty secure. It's not gonna change shape. I'm gonna set those hinges in, weld them on. The thing is, I took this section out of the Sterling complete, the whole thing with the hinge mounts, etc. The idea is it's in perfect alignment. We might change the hinges in the end, but ultimately this roof shape will be the core. It'll be under whatever we create. Aha! It works. All right. To the bat cave. Perfect. For me, this is where it's at. Now we have a bunch of stuff on a car. It's time to get busy. Moved into a new lab, got a new workshop. The whole idea with this room is that you have plenty of clean floor space. One of the biggest challenges in everywhere I've worked is that there's always stuff, and I'm always trying to decrease the stuff. I got my tools, I got my dog, ready to rock. The whole idea was getting this in the room, as now we are in the artist studio. I got the car up on these little roller dollies. We can spin it around, get up high, down low, nothing in the way. Because really, that's it. You gotta have that line, you know? It's gotta look good. Victor and I were up at Gene Winfield's. He had a whole bunch of fiberglass bodies, and I knew we had to go in that direction with this car. But Gene was molding cars that already exist, like a 51 Merc or a Ferrari F40, but we don't have that option. We have to create the car first. It's just like this car model. You know, imagine we had a full-size 57 Chevy and we made a mold on it. We would end up with a car body just like this. We have to create our car body first. The cool thing is we can use any car part we want. We can customize it, hand shape it, whatever. It just has to be strong enough to build a mold on. We can move fast. We can make changes on the fly. We've never done anything like this before. I'm super excited. It's just gonna be a ton of work. The whole idea with setting up the car in the shop like this is it's gonna be a big debate between Victor and I as to how it turns out in the end. Set up these fenders just as a representation of something over the rear wheels. I know Victor loves the idea of this really low trough. You'll see the engine and the other components in here. This is directly in the way. First things first, I want to get into the rear portion of this design. Because it's a mid-engine, we both want to show that engine off, and there's a bunch of stock sheet metal I want to get out of the way, come up with some concepts for the back end. So this is an element of structure. I'm just gonna make it look way cooler. You can see now clearly the strut tower in here. And if you look under the hood of any front-engined, car for the track, they'll have this flange that bolts on here and then a cross brace. So already you can see it's just, when you're looking at the engine, it's way better than looking at this big divider wall. What do you think? Dude's always on board, he's 3 years old, he's getting himself into trouble, banging his head into stuff. He's always putting his nose in my business, and I'm sure he's totally liking the smell of the fine German machinery. We don't get a lot of that, and I think he's just taking it all in. Hey, what happened to your face? You were such a cute puppy. You look like a boxer. Getting all this metal cut out of the way, it's exactly what I was looking for. The engine will be exposed, but now I gotta put some structure in there, and I got a couple ideas how to make that happen. I know what Victor and I are going for in this portion of the car, and that is looking down into this and seeing a lot of cool stuff. Just like with all the supercars, whether we have glass or it's just open, it's gotta look cool. Right now it looks like a bunch of sheet metal that we cut out. Try to snazzy it up a little. Now that I got all this metal cut out, my idea is to put in like an upper strut support. It'd be easy just to throw a piece of tube in there, but I want it to look cool. Race cars, they try to lighten everything up. I'm gonna do the same here. So that's the thing, I got the center marked here, and I'm just gonna go every 2.5 inches and scribe across, so 6.5 to 9. I'll just center punch, drill all these with a hole saw, and it'll just look like a nice lightened race car style bracket. I'm just gonna pre-drill these with a 1/4 inch hole and then hole saw it up to, I think, about 1 inch, whatever looks appropriate. There you go. Now you got a bunch of small holes. Now I'm gonna make a bunch of big holes. The hole saw leaves a bunch of kind of scratch marks and loose pieces of metal hanging off, so the die grinder cleans all that up. There's a few different fittings on that tool. It goes from coarse to fine. In the end, you end up with something that looks like a piece of jewelry. Boy, it just looks kind of like a, If this thing's sitting on the table, you don't know what the heck it is. Is it a musical instrument? Is it a weapon? Is it an upper strut support bar? Who knows? So the last thing I want to do is put a finish on it. Eastwood's got this cool surface finishing tool. It provides like a brushed finish. You hear like brushed aluminum, brushed stainless. You see it on your refrigerator or something like that. And I'm gonna use that on this piece of tubing. That is pretty cool. Now I'm just gonna weld into the car, figure out how that floor area is gonna be raised up. This piece needs to be super strong, so I made these gussets and I could weld them in on each side of the shock towers. The next step is twofold. I need to create somewhere to mount all of this rat's nest wire harness stuff and create something that looks cool that follows the design Victor and I are looking for.
Ian.
Hey man, you found the place.
Yeah, I found it, man. What's going on? Wow, place looks good.
Oh yeah, that's the thing I was saying, you know, new building, new project.
You know, I walk into the new shop, man, Ian's like all peppy, ready to go, just like he's inspired again. And now I'm starting to get inspired going, hey, move over, I'm coming in. That looks good. The lines are lining up.
Yeah, it's all just kind of concept, you know, something to discuss. Aside from it looking so cool with structure, you know, these are springs under here. They're gonna wanna fold in. So I just support it like you would any race car, right? Came in with some gussets, really grabbed that.
Ian just telling me all this stuff, and I'm not really like taking it in. I'm like looking at the car, starting to focus on what else could we do to this thing. And he's talking and talking, and you talk all the engineering you want to talk. I'm thinking design, baby. I love that you got it down low. This boxer was round.
Exactly.
Now we could achieve, you know, whatever vents or take the points down.
You know, all this aside, all we have is some structure back here and this surface height. We need to figure out what the look of the back of the car is. You know, you're describing some kind of sculpted thing. All I've established is measuring points. I mean, I can't do anything more until we figure out what the look is. You know, what the heck is you bring in for this part?
The mistake Ian made was he said, hey, you could bring anything you want. So, I mean, you can't tell me that. It's another piece to this puzzle. You know, 911
Oh.
Carrera bumper.
Okay, I thought it was something you picked up off the street. Oh, I see, yeah. Porsche 911. I was a little concerned because he brings in a Porsche bumper. We're working with a Porsche. We're trying to make something that doesn't look like anything out there. So, I don't know. I'm a little skeptical. I mean, it's one thing to just say, oh yeah, it's a Porsche, it'll fit, but you got these massive tires and it actually works.
Once we put this thing up, it was like a revelation. It fit.
To just put a replacement Porsche part on it seems like not accomplishing anything, but this is completely different than any Porsche that I've seen. Starting to fit up the rear view of the car, and the first thing I wanted to accomplish was getting this driver's compartment separated from the engine compartment. I got this panel in before I could get this structure finished for the side pieces. These tubes here are going to be the support structure for the side panels we discussed. Victor's bumper idea, I think, is perfect, but what I had to do was suspend it and center it. I came in with some 3/4 inch steel tube and a bunch of small pencil rod, and now the bumper is mounted. This panel here is going to have a rear window in it, but I don't know how that's going to look until we get these sidewalls in. Victor and I are committed to this, so I'm going to put the floor in and build the sides. I was thinking about some kind of access hatch here with a hinge, pretty techy to build. Victor said, why don't we just hard it right on these two braces, and this whole center panel just pulls out. I had all this scrap foam insulation outside, and by setting that up on the insulation, you can just run the jigsaw right through it. I'm gonna do this whole portion of the car in aluminum. My plan is that it's gonna stay with the chassis. It'll never be molded in fiberglass, so I want it to look really bright and cool. That's it. Piece of cake. Quadruple X so I can grow into it. My senior years. That looks pretty good. I think to set this thing off, I really want to rivet it together. It's going to give it a real industrial strength race car look. But because this is a concept, I'm just going to mock them up with these self-tapping screws. It's a perfect starting point because the hole will later just get riveted back together. There's the last rear pan where the bumper goes. It's just going to slip right in underneath the other one. I know that this is not the finished product we're looking at, but you gotta start with a good base, and that's all this is. This is a background for whatever enhancements Victor comes up with.